Hey, this is Phil Lilley, Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina on Lake Taneycomo. We're going to do one cast today. It's the last day of June 2020. It's Tuesday. I'm right out in front of the resort. They're running 2 units of water, and I'm going to do some drifting. First, I'm going to use kind of what I showed Blake yesterday. It's a pink power worm on a jig head, and I've got a float, a bigger float than what he was using, about 3 or 4 inches above. I'm experimenting, but above the jig head, and then a 1/4 ounce bell weight on a couple of swivel systems, and I just caught my lantern. There we go. I'm going to drift this on the bottom and just, it looks funny, but I'm going to do it. Now, I know that float, I had to use a big enough weight to get the float down. So I don't know how many fish are going to hit that float, not the worm. Of course, I don't have a hook on the float. Two units is a really nice, it's a really nice float. It's not too fast, it's not too slow, but you got to use the right amount of weight. I'm bumping the bottom maybe a little bit too hard. I say 1/4 ounce, it's an 1/8 ounce. 1/8 ounce weight. Ooh, I had a snag. Got another rod rigged. A little more traditional. And I brought some power bait. The idea of that float is to keep that bait off the bottom, out of the moss and out of the snags. The weight will still catch stuff. Not as bad as a hook. We use the same concept in Alaska, and we've used it here too, where you use a bear hook and you peg a bead, anywhere from a 6mm to a 12mm bead, different colors. You peg it on the line 2 inches above the hook. The fish hits the bead and gets the hook too. So I'm going to just check it for moss, and there is absolutely no moss on the bead or the hook. I'm not going to throw it out quite as far. That way it won't bump the bottom maybe as hard. Had a little rain shower go through this morning. It was about 5:30, 6 o'clock. It was a nice shower. I actually need it. But it was a small system, so it just fell very local. Won't affect the lakes any. Steve Dickey just came in. I didn't ask him what he's using, but I imagine it was either a pink worm or night crawlers. He said he was fishing just from Fall Creek to Short Creek. And he cleaned, see, there were 2 kids, 3 kids. There were 4 or 5 in the party. And he cleaned that many fish, and I saw several 2-pound rainbows. So some of those fish are moving down out of the trophy area and being caught below Fall Creek where they can be kept now. And that's pretty much normal, so it's supposed to happen. I'll drift this for a little while, then I'll put on some power bait. See if I do any better. I'm doing one cast.
This morning you are?
Right now.
Alright. How's it going?
No bites.
It's tough, ain't it?
Dickie just came in with some nice fish he caught below Fall Creek.
Yeah, we ended up getting our limit downstream.
See ya.
Dropping them off in your record.
That was Tony Lilley. Oh, that might have been a fish. I don't think he had the hook. He might have grabbed the float. Speaking of float, I've got a buoy here to miss. Come on. I mean, the pink worm is supposed to be the hot bait of the century. And I fish with it maybe 2 or 3 times a year. Fish are supposed to be jumping on this thing. Maybe that yellow float's got them spooked. Trying to get out and do one cast before they turn the four units on. I've told several people when they turn that 4 on, well, if they're gonna start running 4 units, we're gonna start drifting some stick baits, some small jerk baits, and even some of those big crank baits, which you need at least 3, preferably 4 units to drift those, and see if we can pick up some bigger fish. But I don't think I've ever had one video that I've done any good drifting anything. So I'm getting a little paranoid about drifting. Scuds. I do pretty good with scuds. Here comes Tony again. You give me a fishing report. Pink worm.
It's just slow.
No bites.
No bites. Keep going.
See ya. Okay. The pink worm has had plenty of time. I'm bumping bottom good. Actually perfect. I wonder if I can move this up. Let's keep trying this. I know I can have more spread, more line between my weight. Throw it out a little further. A little more later might help. Supposed to be up in the 90s today. I'm starting to feel it. Almost par rate time. Let's see. I said white is working pretty good. So that's one we're going to put on. It does keep it out of the moss. I have to say that. All right. Now, this is one thing that I do when I do fish power bait is I only put one egg on. A lot of people load up the hook, and I just don't think that's the right way to do it. I'm only going to put a split shot on this. It's about a number 7 split shot. Because I don't have a float on there. So a lot less weight. Use a number 8 hook. I'm just going to put one hook up on the shaft, or one egg right up on the shaft. I don't know how that fishing line always wraps around stuff, you know what? Because when we use egg flies, we only use one egg. When we use beads, we only use one bead. So really, one egg should work just as good as 3 or 4. Unless they get that one egg in their mouth. They got pretty small Pretty small mouths. Yeah, I think that's bottom. I see that weight might be a little bit too heavy. Everybody's going nice and slow today. That's a good thing. This fog. Of course, the further down you drift, the slower the water gets. So really, the less weight you should use. I just got a bite. Come on, hit it again. I should have set the hook. It's funny, there's a lot of room on the other side of me, between me and the bank. Hey, he's went by slow, I'm not complaining. It's sometimes kind of funny how people operate their boat. Gotta check. I forgot I need to check for moss. I got that one bite. Oh, I'm good. Hey, I'm not bumping bottom now. I thought I had too much weight on. Now I don't have enough. It's fine. I thought I had some moss on there. Did I ever say I don't like drifting? I know a lot of people love it. It's great if you just want to relax. And the objective of one cast is to show people how to do stuff. It'll be nice to demonstrate catching a fish. Should have brought night crawlers. And I know this happens to everybody, is when you're fishing and you're not catching those fish on one thing, you know if you had something else you'd be catching fish. If you were fishing a black jig and weren't catching anything, you know if you switched to a white you'd probably catch fish. It's like the old saying, the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. If I was throwing a jig, I'd be catching fish. Still not really on the bottom. I don't feel it. Okay, I'm gonna go to the boat ramp and then I gotta call it quits. I gotta take my truck in for oil change. Is that bottom or is that a fish? If I'm getting bites, they're just picking it up and dropping it. I'm on about 13 foot of water, probably. Give it a little bit more line. There's the bottom. I'm to the ramp. Guy's dragging his stringer with his fish. Looks like he's got one rainbow. Well, I really thought I was going to demonstrate on how to catch some fish today. Clearly, I don't have the touch. But we'll keep working on that float thing because I think that's a good idea. Thanks for watching. We'll try something else tomorrow. Jackson knows that's when it's over. Time to go. And still no moss.